Welcome to Beyond the Beat with me, Ciara. If you're a PK, yeah, I'm talking to the pastor kids out there, then you already know church, it hits different. It hits home because for us, church wasn't just a place we went on Sundays. It was our life, our identity, our everything. And for some of us, it's also where things went left. My story, it didn't start on the streets. It didn't start in the clubs. It started inside the four walls of the church. So let's talk about when the church ain't always safe. Okay, look. So I grew up in the church. That was home to me. I went faithfully every Sunday, second service, third service. That was the tradition coming from a Kojic background. So that was supposed to be the place where you felt where I felt protected and where you may felt protected. But let me get something real to you because the folks screaming hallelujah be the ones hiding the most secrets. Because there was this whole thing, this whole unspoken thing happening behind the scenes. Like this double life, some of the most holy folks, they had the darkest stuff going on. It was wild, yo. Like when I was a kid, my cousin introduced me to physical touch. And listen, we were both young. We didn't know what we were doing or what any of it meant. But that moment, it sparked something in me. It awakened something in me before I was ready for it, before I was mature enough to understand it. And that's where my journey with premature love really began. And let's be real, youth conventions, woo child. Youth conventions, if our parents really knew what we got into at them hotel lock-ins and those so-called chaperone church trips, I mean, I'm not saying it was all sexual, but let's not act like we weren't experimenting for real, like, because we were quietly behind the scenes, behind the choir robes. And God bless you. We were figuring things out in silence and shadows. Me and some of the other girls, we got caught up listening to older church members talk about things we had no business hearing. Let's just be honest. I'm talking graphic stories like it was gospel. And we were just curious. So we were hungry to feel seen, to feel grown, to feel wanted. That curiosity turned into action for me. And before I knew it, I was spiraling out of control, chasing attention, validation, trying to find love in all the wrong places, when really I was just looking for someone to tell me I was enough. It was like I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz movie, like without the ruby slippers, clicking my heels 3 times. Phone home, right? ET, snatched from a storm I didn't even see coming. I didn't even know how I would survive. And the crazy thing is, there were signs, warnings, red flags, but I ignored them, trying to fit in, trying to escape the pressure of being the good church girl, right? Like we all strive to be. And just like that, the innocence I once held slipped away like sand through my fingertips. And let me be clear, this ain't about blaming the church. It's about acknowledging the reality that not everyone in the sanctuary is there to heal. Some are there to harm for real. That's why we've got to protect our babies. Pay attention to who's around them. Look past the smiles, the God bless yous, and really see what's going on. You know what I mean? So now fast forward, I'm 14 years old, right? And one day I feel the sharp pain on my right side. Turns out I had a mass growing near my ovary, bro. Things got serious quick, real quick. I went to the OBGYN. They knew I was already sexually active, da da da. I went to an oncologist and they couldn't tell me if it was cancer or not. So I was terrified. And Valentine's Day 2008, I will never forget this. While other girls my age were getting candy and balloons, I was under the knife, bro. Literally under the knife. They removed the mass, but they also had to take my ovary, my right ovary. At 14, I'm hearing words like fertility, scars, oophorectomy. I was too young to even spell that, let alone understand what it meant for my future. But I made it through. And I didn't just survive, I thrived. I took that scar, that pain, and turned it into art. And now I'm getting tatted over it, not to hide it, but to own it. That mark reminds me every day that I'm still here. That part of me was taken, but it didn't break me. I can still have kids, just not the natural way. Matter of fact, it woke me up. That was the moment life tried to take me out, but God stepped right in. And He knew, I knew my story wasn't over. Most importantly, He knew. Now, every Valentine's Day, I don't just think about the loss. I celebrate how far I've come from a scared little girl in a hospital bed to the mediapreneur you see today, making purpose out of pain and profits out of passion. Period. That's the paradox of growing up in the church. The same place that teaches you about purity is sometimes the first place where you lose it. The same place that preaches deliverance often where the damage begins. So yeah, you get what I'm coming from. That's where my teen promiscuity started. Not from rebellion, not from trying to be fast, but from confusion, curiosity, and hurt wrapped up in holy spaces. Not to mention the bullying. I was bullied in the church. Yes, absolutely. But here's the thing, just because that's where it started doesn't mean that's where it ends, because God's got a funny way of flipping pain into purpose. You ever heard that saying, "When life gives you lemons"? Yeah, I didn't just make lemonade, baby. I made a whole tea party out of that joint. Sugar cups, flowers, the whole vibe. Because after going through what I went through, I realized something. You need a village to raise a child. And I had one. That village stood in the gap when I couldn't stand on my own. They prayed over me. They spoke life into me. They reminded me that there's got to be more to life than this. And there was. And you know what? There is. Absolutely, there is. So that's it for today's episode of Pain and Purpose. If you're out there feeling broken, confused, maybe like your past disqualifies you, I'm here to remind you it doesn't. Your pain ain't random. Your scars ain't shameful. They're proof in the pudding that you made, that you made it through, and you're still becoming her. You're still becoming him. I'm her. You're him. You know, we are his. I'm that girl, you're that guy. So stay tuned for the next episode where we're just getting started. Peace, love, and healing to you all. Pain for purpose, where your past has a point. This is Beyond the Beat with Ciara. Till next time.